which kind of isn't the strongest in the meta right now.
Yeah.
With Lance being picked up and Petal, they want to force a Cruel ban, looks like, I think.
Yeah, the Vox may not be the strongest in the meta overall, but it is still far and above Joseph's, or Old School, sorry, most played hero across the season we talked about the other day. But it's going to be this Lance Glaive. Again, massive amounts of lockdown that is going to be coming out from the Nova side.
Absolutely, Glaive is going to be the lock-in here alongside that Lance. And now Cloud9 have a double pick on their side. We'll see where they choose to go with this one. Obviously, Graves, very versatile.
Yeah, if they go like Rhyme, Glaive Lance is over. Their days are numbered if they do a Rhyme here. However, I think Idris will still look good unless they want to do a Celeste with like Blackfeather or Adagio Blackfeather would be really solid as well. So I could see Cloud9 going for an Adagio Blackfeather composition. So whatever Truth is on, Joseph and Old School and Gabe are just going to dive onto him and ignore the Glaive and get past the Glaive and the Lance.
It's going to be the Blackfeather locked on in. Adagio still wide open if they do want to follow that one up as well. And Blackfeather has definitely had a resurgence here today. We didn't see him as much yesterday, but certainly seems to be picking up in popularity. Once again, a double heal composition locked on in.
They're going to pick Celeste here. I think Celeste will be picked up, and that's going to be really risky because Blackfeather is so good. With the Grace that can give him a Divine Intervention, Celeste or Glaive will not be able to kill him fast enough. And then you have to worry about Adagio on top of that. Oh, they're going with Idris actually, CP Idris instead. So very smart play by Nova here.
Now, we've seen a double heal composition in the semifinals already. It was against a Glaive and there was no Poison Shift built. Are we going to see that coming out from Nova? Is that the key to beating a composition like this?
You need a Poison Shift. You need some way to apply Mortal Wound against a double heal composition. Otherwise, they will be able to out-sustain you all game long.
You can see the Nova fans out in force, ready to take on Cloud9. It's just about time to get on into our second semi-final. Suijay, thoughts on this matchup? How's it going to go very quickly?
Oh my god, Grace and Cloud9 is too good. I think they're going to take it.
All right, we'll see how this one's going to pan out. It's time to get over to our casters. It's time to begin the second semi-final of the day. It's Cloud9 against Nova Esports.
Thank you very much, Joe. We are here, Jaws and Action Jackson, ready to take you through this best of 5. Nova, the rising stars, going up against Cloud9, the once undisputed champions.
Yep, the reigning champions from the last Unified Live Championship. These guys are monsters across both teams. We have a lot of very mechanical players, and I would say, especially in the case of C9, but on Nova as well, some very cerebral ones as well. We're onto the fold.
Oh boy, here we go. We can hear the crowd already. We saw the big Nova flag, and we see a lot of Cloud9 jerseys as well. This composition looks pretty scary from Cloud9. Like Suijay said, that Grace on Gabe Fizzle already taking a mean chunk out of Starboy.
Yeah, C9 being very aggressive with a 3-man invade already. They're going to be taking away the forward Treant as a result. Truth, I don't know if he's going to be able to get anything in response. Probably not. This is a very strong rotation from Cloud9 that also lands themselves the middle Treant, the elder Treant. They're in a good spot. Truth is going to be trying to steal away a Treant in response, though. C9 probably know what's up based off of their rotation into lane, so Joseph might be able to look for Truth here. Truth smartly backing away.
Oh yeah, it's going to sink into the ground and get back to base. But Cloud9, like you said, reigning champions, that's going to kind of put a bit of a cloud over Nova coming up against these guys. And you've got to think to yourselves, are they going to be a little bit nervous coming into this?
I have to admit, I was actually sitting with Nova right before this series began.
Oh, hang on a second. Gabe Fizzle, he's going to reposition himself. Or sorry, Low Delphi's going to reposition him. That was a very close impale by Starboy. Truth not really there for the damage either. Early game in, just not so strong.
Yeah, I mean, had that Lance Impale landed on either Old School or Gabe Fizzle, maybe that fight keeps going for sure. We've talked about it time and time again. Landing those early Lance Impales is extremely important. But to your previous point, I was actually sitting with Nova, and they seemed pretty calm and collected, to be honest. You know, they weren't really stressed too much. This is a team that does not yet know exactly how bitter it can be when you lose in a championship. I mean, you got to remember, every win these guys pick up is their first time getting to this stage of a tournament, and every time they lose, well, they haven't yet. So they're in a good spot mentally.
Yeah, it's the furthest they've ever gotten, and you got to say, for a team coming into the Unified Championships and coming to the semi-finals against someone like Cloud9, this historical team with such big names on it, that's just such a wonder to look at. Old School, though, is coming in. He's got a little bit of fire on Truth. He's going to have to back off. It's a very hard daily pace, but Old School, a little bit too far forward. Into the turret, Githian wall from Starboy. First blood to Low Delphi.
Very nice stuff. Nova, the Rising Stars, as you said, take first blood against the reigning champions, Cloud9. It's very impressive. I have to admit, great rotation out of Starboy there to make that one happen with Lone Delphi. They're spending a lot of time in the lane. They're trying to abuse the fact that Old School does not have a good amount of mobility on his kit. Obviously, Gabe Vizzle is not going to be able to do much sustain pre-level 6. The big thing that Gabe is offering is crowd control and damage reduction until that point. But it's not quite enough this early on, especially against Lone Delphi, who's picked up a couple of weapon blades. He's going to be doing a lot of damage whenever he jumps in. We should start talking about the compositions as well, because as was mentioned on the analyst desk, we've seen a glaive into the double heal composition before. It did not build Poison Shiv. I have to echo their sentiment. I think it's very important that a Poison Shiv is picked up this game from Nova. They need to be able to eat through all the healing. Double heal has actually been quite a popular lineup that we've seen, and a very successful one this tournament. It's something that, at least for the 2.7 meta, seems pretty darn effective. And when you're backing up someone like a Black Feather with double healed, I mean, this is something we used to see with Lyra Adagio. It really does allow that Black Feather to play a little looser, get a bit more basic attacks in.
Oh, benediction in by Scythian War onto Gabe Vizzle, but they're not done just yet. Starboy going very low. Old School's going to chase him up in Pale to get a bit of distance. He ends up going down. Truth in trouble as well. But he's going to walk away alive for the moment. Lone Delphi coming up to the lane, but that will be a kill going over to Cloud9.
Very, very nice rotation. They don't know that Delphi's here, though. Maybe he can make something happen.
Taking a lot of damage. Old School focusing the right target. Boots out. Lone Delphi now in the fray. However, Old School can't really find that last auto attack to kill him, but Cloud9 taking advantage of that lane.
Old School starting to do some serious damage early on here, especially if he lands the burn onto these targets from Nova. It is going to be very difficult for them to deal with, and you can see using the minion wave actually as a source for getting that down. Cloud9, in response to that early rotation and kill that Nova got, have been playing much more solidly up in the lane. There's been much less of a focus for them down in the jungle, and I think that's a very smart response. When you're against a Lance and a Glaive, you know that you are vulnerable in the lane, especially with low mobility, because both of those heroes have gap closers and crowd control that can really put you out of position rather than just lock you down if you are already out of position.
Yeah, 3 members from Nova really dangerous if Old School gets anywhere near them. However, they're not going to hit his power spikes too quickly. That's something we've got to kind of keep in mind. Truth building up towards this CP Idris route as Lone Delphi has picked up that tension bow. He's coming towards the lane. That's a lot of burst damage, but like you said, it can be quite hard if you haven't got that poison shield to deduct a lot of that healing that Cloud9 are going to offer, especially Joseph too, as in level 6. Starboy in a lot of trouble. He's in a 1v3. He doesn't have boost. Nice Scythian ball. Here comes Lone Delphi. He does reposition Joseph, but Starboy's still going down. He's burning alive. Impale over the wall. Gabe Vizzle, can he find him? He can. The burn doesn't finish him, but Gabe Vizzle does. Nova, they eke another kill, but Cloud9 2 on the board.
I appreciate wanting to save your fountain for perhaps a skirmish, but when you die because you didn't use it when you've already got one, that is not the best situation to be in. Starboy unable to make that happen, and now as a result, the laner and jungler from Nova had to back away. Lots of pressure onto this turret. Thankfully, Nova do have just enough in the tank to defend this one. Cloud9 are definitely setting the pace for this game, though. It doesn't really translate into the gold advantage. In fact, Nova has that, but that's because they're actually dividing their attention and spending more of their time away from each other, unlike what we saw in the first minute or two of the game. And this is, allowing Cloud9, they're sort of trading off gold advantage, trading off experience perhaps on their jungler to make things happen on the map that they can then translate into a bigger gold lead later on.
We're only 6 minutes in, and Nova, they are inching ahead on gold. Only about 400, so quite surprising considering the kills right now. Nova, what do they do? What do they do and execute right now? Truth does have Shatterglass. They need to be able to find an opening here, but Old School and Gabe Vizzle, their wave pushing potential is all too strong. Lone Delphi coming forward, actually going to jump on Truth. Here's Lone Delphi on the side. Afterburn not used just yet. Doesn't want to go for the engage, however Starboy does. Only Nova does end up missing, and in fact, they are just going to disengage from Cloud9.
So right before that fight, Joseph actually picked himself up a Sorrow Blade. So he is a very scary threat right now to Nova. C9 knows that they want to set something up again.
Benediction is in. Lone Delphi going really low. There's the Rose defensive. Truth comes forward. Lone Delphi does get alive with the Afterburn, but Starboy now in the front line. All of Nova's Alphars are brinking Joseph very close to going underneath that turret, but it's all good. Truth ends up escaping alive as well. But those chakrams, they are starting to mount up now.
Yeah, smart play by Truth to jump over the wall into his teammate with the ultimate to get out of that sticky situation. C9, they do not have a fountain, so they got to be careful if they extend too far onto the turret, but neither does Nova. There is a lot of damage across all members in this 3v3. anyone who makes a misstep could be very punished. Look,
Oh,
Old School,
speaking of Starboy, Low Delphi does get the reposition, but the Rose offensive in. Benediction as well. Gave Vizzle starting against the wall. Nice Impale. He's going to get blocked, but it doesn't matter. He picks up a kill anyway. Starboy activates the replay. Blocks the shield. He's alive. Truth finds the kill. Turns the emote up as well, and Nova secure 2.
Man, that could have gone either way, to be honest, right at the end there. But both teams playing with fire. Oftentimes, we're going to see this in game 1 of a series. Truth, oh, he spots out Old School.
Oh, Chakram doing a lot. He has got a lot of damage, but Crystal Sentry's there for the backup. Remember, the 2v1 isn't always as good when you're half HP.
Yeah, Truth doesn't have any way of slowing up Old School either, which makes it kind of hard to chase in without boots there. So Old School is going to be getting away. Again, you know, returning to what we've seen so far, I think we've seen a lot of, you know, both teams trying to be very pace-setting. They're trying to be decisive and make plays happen. And in game 1 of a series like this, it's a great way of getting under the skin of your opponents a little bit. You know, you want to be the ones really initiating the fights, really showing no fear in order to make your opponents respect the plays and the bluffs maybe that you make later on in the series. We might have another fight here.
Nova have to rotate towards the lane now. Tyro's going very well. Get him all into 2. Low Delphi's on the back line. Old School in a lot of trouble, but the massive heal comes out from Gabe Vizzle. They are just rotating back now, trying to save Old School. He's still alive somehow. Fountain comes out to save, and now the target is Low Delphi, but Joseph's going to fall. Low Delphi finds it, but he is burning, but he does manage to survive and get out of there. They do end up losing a turret, but they trade it for 1.
This is a very close series of fights we're seeing here. Both teams have players escaping on almost no life at times. Once Delphi picks up Poison Shiv, I do think that this is going to turn much more favorably for Nova, at least in the short term.
Benediction. Oh, that Impale actually missed. Old School going very low. Truth finds the kill. Starboy running away. Gabe Vizzle ends up chasing him off. They trade 1 for 1, but that will result in Cloud9 keeping that turret.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, probably quite a good trade for Cloud9. They would have otherwise been experiencing a lot of turret pressure there. It would have forced Joseph maybe to run directly to lane from base rather than to jungle to farm. So it is keeping them in the gold race with Nova, and that's very important at this point for the reason I was about to talk about before. Blackfeather's weapon power this game, you need a couple of items, maybe even a few items, to be super effective. You need probably 2 offensive, and then you maybe need like an Atlas Pauldron or something defensive to deal with the carries from Nova when you jump in. So the fact that Cloud9 is playing this at the pace they are is a little risky. You know, if Nova manages to turn and take a turret here and equalize objectives on the map, it's going to look really good for them in the mid game.
Okay, Vizzle is going in time and time again. Every single time Benediction's off cooldown, you best believe he's going in. Now Nova, they have lost a turret here, so their vision line isn't going to be all too great. However, Joseph goes in the backline and maybe a little bit too aggressive, but the heal's going to come through from Gabe Vizzle. Starboy going very low, gets jumped on once again. Old School pounding out that damage in the backline. Low Delphi now in the front of it all. Truth in the back, just can't do anything, cannot touch Gabe Vizzle and Joseph.
Nova are not at the point where they can fight like that. They certainly can fight, but it's important that Delphi is just doing damage, and he was mostly trying to buy space for Truth in that exchange. Truth only has a Shadowglass AC. I think he needs a Broken Myth to really hit the power spike. That being said, he is keeping Cloud9 off the gold line for now. He might go for this.
He might. Chakram goes in, Benediction onto Truth, but no, Cloud9 do end up securing it. Old School chasing him down though. Look at the damage! Alternating current Shadowglass. Low Delphi does find the kill on him, but in the end, Cloud9, they may trade 1 for 1, but they still get the gold miner.
I mean, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Very bad news for Nova, especially when you're losing the gold mine too. This has swung the gold back in favor of Cloud9, and when they've already got pressure on the map, that's exactly the situation you don't want to be in. Joseph is getting a lot of time to scale up here, and the double heal composition is fragile, but only at certain points in the game. Right now, with a Poison Shiv being picked up for Delphi, this is a big window of opportunity and a big power spike, so long as Truth can hit Broken Myth soon. And he is, you know, moderately on his way, needs about half the money, probably, of that complete item still to go. So if Truth wants to maybe make a fight happen for Nova, he needs to just hyper farm the next couple of minutes. I don't think Delphi should take camps, actually. I think they should just give them to Truth, try and hit that power spike so they can really abuse the mid game that maybe the heal comp is going to struggle with.
Starboy has been spotted. Joseph's going to go in. Truth on the backline's already half HP. Has to use the boots to get away. Those Chakrams doing a fair bit of damage. But Cloud9 still unrelenting in their pushes. Echo, by the way, has been finished by Gabe Vizzle, so he has 2 divine interventions to use. So right now, we're 12 minutes in. Cloud9, they've hit some massive power spikes. You've got to be kind of scared for Nova, but the question is, how do they respond?
You know, your point earlier about the Echo really is pretty impressive, actually. 12 minutes and you've got Crucible, Echo, and Fountain. Gabe Vizzle was doing a great job of utilizing ambient gold this game. He's really been in the right place at the right time pretty much the entire time. And as a result, having 2 Divine Interventions is, I mean, that's pretty tough for Nova to deal with. They don't have a lot of burst damage. If they get someone low, it's all down to Delphi to dive in and maybe get a crit or something, but he doesn't have crit items yet. It's pretty tough. I don't know, I think Nova, they're going to need to play either a very, very long fight where they position very, very well, or they're going to have to get another item, try and poke, and then hard commit and kill someone very quickly.
Well, speaking about killing people really quickly, Truth is going to get found. Does use the Divergent path to get out quite safely. Starboy, by the way, with the Echo as well on the Lance. Not something we usually see, in fact, but double Githian Wall could be quite impressive if coming up against Cloud9. Stun a target for long enough, they can't get healed.
If they fight closely in the jungle, then it certainly is very good, but right now C9 wants to fight in the lane.
Truth just taking the brunt of this punishment. In fact, Starboy did end up using the boost there as well, so that's a big engage tool down now for Nova. Crucible Fountain Echo for both captains. Oh, those on points. Ripping through 3 members of Nova right now, but Cloud9 happy to stay in the lane. They got the regeneration.
I don't know about this from Nova, though. At this point, it might be too late to stay in the lane. Truth's got to be careful here.
I think so. Truth sending out those track cones, but actually Low Delphi decides to go in for the fight. Fountain is going to get used, but Nova again just disengaging. They just cannot seem to fight Cloud9 on an even footing.
Cloud9 still has their Fountain, so upon this next wave hitting the turret, they have an opportunity to try and make another siege play. And especially if they bait in Truth and poke him like that, it's not going to be that difficult. The only member who's healthy is Delphi. See if he can make it happen.
Well, he's not healthy anymore as he has to actually afterburn away. Starboy now in the front line does use the Githian Wall, does pop the Echo as well.
Yeah. That's a Divine Intervention up right off cooldown. So suddenly C9, again, still without burning the Fountain, are basically full health. They can keep this siege going as long as Nova wants to. Nova at some point just has to engage. You're not going to win this poke war right now.
Absolutely not. Truth needs to start doing a whole bunch of damage to stop this one. Holy Nova comes out, knocks up 2, but that turret is just falling old school. Free hitting in the backline, not free hitting for long though, gets punted to his team. Divine Intervention onto Joseph, and now old school's in the front line, but it doesn't matter at all. Truth's already dead. Low Delphi is next to fall. Oh, that was close. Almost ate my own words, but does manage to secure the kill in the end. Starboy running away, tail between his legs. We're almost 15 minutes on the clock, AJ. Kraken's going to spawn
Look
soon.
at what happened immediately after that fight. Nova picked up a bunch of items, right? At a certain point, you have to give up the turrets. And I think at that point, when you were dealing with the amount of healing and sustain and cooldowns that were available for Cloud9 still, it might have made sense. Let's have a look at a replay here. You can see C9 just committing mostly for the turret and not even worrying about Nova because just incidental damage, splash damage, was killing Truth so quickly. He doesn't have a lot of defensive itemization yet. On top of that, Starboy really struggled to run point for his team in this fight. It was mostly Delphi on the front lines. They kind of need to tag team in order to either deal with Joseph jumping on Truth or force Old School and Gabe Vizzle so far out that Truth can maybe 1 versus 1 Old School. That's going to be tough, you know, until maybe he picks up an Aegis on Truth. So again, backing away was honestly the right play there, I think, for Nova, especially if you have gold to spend.
Nova there. Not a massive amount of experience in best of 5 formats, and Cloud9 have that experience to back them up. You mentioned they are the London champions, the London live champions. Champions. You get what I mean. And this is kind of scary for Nova. They're on the back foot right now. Cloud9 making a really nice rotation, very aggressive, pushing up the lane. Nova have to respond now. Truth hasn't had edgeways in these fights, and you've got to say, Starboy and Lone Delphi try to make it easy. Truth gets jumped on again, has to dash backwards. Nice Githian Wall onto Gabe Vizzle, can't get much done, but still, Divine Intervention and Echo is available. Lone Delphi going really, really low. There's the Divine Intervention as Joseph goes in. Lone Delphi healing up those storms. That's going to be the corner used just about. Truth, he's going to go down as well. Cloud9, they're just routing Nova. Starboy left alone again. What is going on?
The problem is that whenever C9 is going for one of these fights, yes, maybe Nova can nearly kill 1 person, but then during the Divine Intervention, there's a whole nother carry to worry about. At this point, Old School and Joseph are both dealing extremely competitive amounts of damage, and it's very hard for Truth to find a good target because Grace controls such a massive area with the threat of Holy Nova. If Truth cannot start a fight with a number of broken myth stacks, his damage is not going to be enough to burn through Cloud9, and at this point, 2 Divine Interventions and the Gift of Fire that Old School has. Now C9, one thing I want to talk about with them is how, you know, very slowly and methodically they're controlling this game. They're not pushing their advantage in ways that they can't afford to. None of these pushes have really been risky, and that's critical because a lot of the time when you see teams as this far ahead, they do sometimes take it that little bit too far. They trade a bunch of their lives for a turret. That's not what these guys are doing, but they are going for the Kraken here.
Kraken about half HP now. Nova pushing forward. Are going to get spotted out by that flare. Cloud9 backing off. Just resetting the Kraken. Seems to be their aim right now. Is going to get fully reset. Not too much of an issue. Still not willing to take a fight that they don't find advantageous. And Nova, you've got to say, they're very mechanical players as well, so maybe that's why Cloud9 didn't want to go up against them in the solid 3v3 without just poking someone out first, like Joseph's been good at doing. Speaking of poking, Truth with those chakrams. However, Truth gets jumped on again. Starboy using that combat role. Can he find anything? Can't seem to find an entrance. In fact, Wartread's going to get bombed from Cloud9. Over the wall, Joseph actually finds Truth. He's just going to get almost taken out instantaneously. Impale does end up missing, but Joseph goes down instead. Truth sends out the chakra and finally finds the kill. Joseph and Old School, they are just running away from each other. And Old School and Gabe are running away now. Truth got the regen. Oh dear, mounted, completely rooted. You're going to go down now. Nova fighting back. Gabe Fizzle on the run. Nova, they got the Kraken on the board. They might want to go take it.
All right, let's see if Truth picks up Gabe Vizzle first. I mean, Gabe Vizzle right now, he's just trying to sort of buy time, freeze a wave close to the base, make it so that if they go for this Kraken, it's A, slower, and B, going to do a bit less. But Truth, you know, he's still got to keep up to Gabe. You got to remember, Grace is an extremely fast hero. I actually think he's not going to find the kill, and especially not going to find the ace. So nice job by Gabe Vizzle to distract a little bit. With a member up now in the form of Joseph and this Kraken going quite slowly, maybe Gabe can keep him off of it for long enough, or steal. It's possible.
It is possible. Gabe, he needs to look for an entrance now. He actually decides not to go for it at all. Never get that regen buff as well. That Kraken is on the board. Eve of Harvest finished as well. Truth is coming online.
So that previous fight where Nova were able to take a win, I think we should break down a little bit why that happened. Unless Nova actually is able to jump up Joseph.
Is on the front line. Yeah, he is. Githium Wall actually is going to stun him up, but Truth is not here. He's too far away. Joseph, they might just find this time to attack right now. Lone Delphi using that afterburn to get away. War trades a spot from Cloud9 as well. Oh, no. Truth has entered the fray, but Lone Delphi's already dead, and Starboy to half HP. Truth went back after the Kraken.
That was really bad news for Nova. I mean, you have to make sure that you're syncing up with your team. Going back to base serves close to literally no purpose, except for maybe shoving. I think there might have been a wave. I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt when I shouldn't have been. I have to admit I was focused on the Kraken. But, you know, you're already healed up for a start. And on top of that, you've got a jungle shop near you. Unless he was going for a wave, there was absolutely no reason to do that. And even if he was, you got to go with your team. That should have been a whole team call. So Nova have put themselves in a very dicey position off the back of that.
Look how much damage Truth is getting taken by Old School. Old School triple Githium Wall though from Starboy. Will stop him. Oh, the Divine Intervention is going to come through. 720 HP regain. Cloud9. They are fighting the Crystal Sentry as well, so they are going to want to back off. Starboy and Truth maybe looking for a little something. Chakram isn't going to quite find him. Echo Pop, Divine Intervention, the re-engage comes through. Truth, no cooldowns left for him. Crystal Sentry's going for the recall, and there goes another kill for Cloud9. Old School now, bumping out the damage. Lone Delphi, caught up, locked up, goes down. Starboy, last member alive. Cloud9 find the ace. They're going to head towards down the lane as well. The death time is long, and this might be game one.
It could possibly be. They've only got 2 turrets to burn through here, Jaws. Nova has got to start playing as a team. They were getting advantages through strong plays. They had a great fight in the lane, which we unfortunately never got a chance to break down. Maybe our analysts can do that. But you have to then, off the back of it, use it as a team. Cloud9, they steal away game 1.
Yeah, the last ace for Cloud9 secures them game number 1. Nova, the rising stars, get taken down by the reigning champions. Can Cloud9 continue this streak?